welcome. Today we're looking at Ubuntu Mate running on the Raspberry Pi 4. I'm currently using the 4GB model with a 16GB memory card in it, SD card, micro SD card, and it works quite well with the Raspberry Pi. If you are looking for a simple, easy to use desktop with the Raspberry Pi 4, definitely recommending Ubuntu Mate. So it makes using things very simple, and currently I have it overclocked to 2 gigahertz, which is not hard to do. I'm using it on Berry Boot. There's plenty of videos of how to get Ubuntu on Berry Boot and use Ubuntu on Berry Boot. I got another image on my Berry Boot, so I'm using this on Ubuntu long-term support 18.4. And it's just great. I feel like it's a great operating system for the Raspberry Pi. It's a very basic, very simple. If you just want a simple desktop system for your Raspberry Pi, would definitely recommend the Ubuntu Mate. So we're going to open up Chromium. So disclaimer here. So it does not come with Chromium or a lot of these applications. I've added them, and we're gonna go through with how to add some of those in other videos, but today I'm just gonna give you a tour of Ubuntu Mate and how it runs on the Raspberry Pi 4 and why I would recommend it. So starting off here, it comes with Firefox installed, which I'm not the biggest fan of, so I got Chromium. But if we look here, it's got the terminal. The terminal works great. I love the Ubuntu terminal, Ubuntu Mate, so try a couple commands here just to show you that it works. Or sudo apt update. And you can see that it's doing its thing and it's working. You do have to make a password for the user if you're using Ubuntu Mate 18.4 on Berry Boot, and I may make a video on how to install it if you would like to know, but there are other videos on YouTube of how to do that, so we're just giving a tour. And it works really good. The video recording is a little bit choppy, so please forgive me on that, but other than that, it is actually very smooth and would definitely recommend overclocking it. But it does give you that little bit more power and better with Chromium. Oops, it's not finished, I don't think. Oh, yeah, we'll just let that run in the background. And it comes with all these applications except Blender, Godot, Arduino IDE that I've installed in the video recorder. It comes with the Vim, that's a nice IDE for Python and such. It comes with a lot of software. I've also got Flatpak on here. It didn't come with that. It's got terminal and some handy stuff. All liberal offices, which are handy. I've also got Genie on here. That did not come with it. Here. So those are some of the applications it comes with. You can look yourself when you get it, but it does come with your main applications that you'll be needing to use when using a desktop. Comes with Thunderbird mail and transmission, lots of offices if you need to do paperwork or writing. I put all these on it. These didn't come with it. VLC media player. I've put Peak in this one. Yeah, and a nice terminal, and everything works well. If you want to move something to your desktop, you just drag it, drop it. It's very simple to use, and you can see how some of the items on it look. It can also get a lot newer versions of stuff than Raspbian, and it just looks and runs better than some applications on Raspbian, like this Arduino IDE. It just looks more pleasing on here, and is easier to use than the Raspberry Pi Raspbian full. And you can see that it works. I'm just going to show you. It works fine. It works great, actually. If I upload something, you can see that it's got the nice load sign. Everything looks compiled. You can widen it. It's snappity boo fast. And then we've got terminal, SD boot, and you can see like Raspbian, I find the files and stuff are quite confusing for people who are new. This keeps everything simple. Everything is nice and simple in here. They've kept everything nice and packaged up and simple into small packages. This is basically all you're going to be looking at, and it keeps everything very simple, which is why I like it. Another thing that's great about it is it's very simple, as I've said lots, and I would completely recommend it if you just want a simple to use desktop with the Raspberry Pi. And it's simple Linux terminal, Linux based. It's finished this now. It's choppy fast. The screen recording is making it looking a bit laggy, but it's actually choppy fast. One of the first things I would do once you get it is to install Chromium. If you guys want, I can make a video on how to get it, but there are lots of videos on Berry Boot and how to get Ubuntu with the Raspberry Pi, so I shouldn't have to, but I would get, it just looks very pleasing as well, but one of the first things I would do is get Chromium using Snap from Firefox. It's automatically got Snap built in, and if you don't know what Snap is, it's just a package installer. Snap install. So just search in your Firefox Snap install, and it should come up with Ubuntu Snapcraft documentation. And then if you just go to homepage or whatever, you can just click on store up here, and this gives you a lot of these applications won't work. One of the downfalls with Ubuntu Mate is it doesn't see the Raspberry Pi 4 has a 64-bit operating systems. It sees it has a 32-bit operating system, but that's alright. So you can only get 32-bit items from here, and some won't work even though they install. But other than that, it works great. You can install games from here or anything. Like I said, some won't work, but quite a few won't work. And then when you want to get Chromium, you can just search Chrome here. I didn't spell right. I should have put an E at the end, but and then you can install Chromium, and you can use this with your Firefox after you first get it and get Chromium, and then you can get more applications using this. But one of the first things I would do after you get Chromium is to get Flatpak. Flatpak is another app installer, but a lot more are capable of running with the Raspberry Pi on Ubuntu Mate, so I would get Flatpak. Just search it. You go into their website. You set up. This is how choose Ubuntu because that's what you're using, and then it gives you stuff after this loads here. Sorry, my internet is a bit slow. And then as you can see, it gives you simple instructions on how to set it up, and then after you've followed these, you can go install some apps. Just let it load here, and then here, and a lot more of these will work with platform than a lot more of these apps will need on the Raspberry Pi than Snap will. So I would get most of your packages, just search them. So let's say I want to get an IDE or something. I can search IDE, and it'll come up with a list of IDEs that I can get. So I've gotten Genie with it and stuff. Once you've decided you want to install something, so let's say I was going to get Genie, which I already have gotten, because who doesn't like Genie? You can either hit install, click on it in the corner, and it will open up the Flatpak built-in app store. After you've gotten Flatpak, it'll build in an app store to your Ubuntu Mate, or you can put these commands into your command line, into your terminal, and it will install the app for you, and then you should be able to just search the app in here, and if you want to put it on your desktop or something, you can. So if we go into programming, you see that I have Genie already installed, and I can drag this and drop it onto my desktop brand new, where it's very simple. So I would recommend getting Flatpak after you've gotten Ubuntu Mate and Chromium with it. And then you have two choices of applications. You can get apps from Snap or Flatpak. If it doesn't work with Snap, you can try it with Flatpak. I'll be making tutorials on how to get like things like Blender and such, but I actually got this Blender with just running the command in terminal sudo apt install Blender. Here, I'll show you how to get it right now. May as well. So if you want to get Blender, you just go sudo apt install, or sudo apt get install Blender. It will be Blender 2.79, which is the older version, but that's all you can get with the Raspberry Pi. Sorry to be a bummer, but it's handy for video editing. It works pretty good, actually. It looks a little bit laggy on the video recorder, but it's actually very smooth. So if I hit tab, I'll go into face select this face. You can see that it works great. I can just build a couple little things. See if we can't make a little example, something. But as you can see, you can just build with it all you want, and it works extraordinarily well. And then we can scale this to make it a little bit smaller. Just extrude and make a little window here or something. Anyways, you get the idea. It works quite well. So you can build little objects. I don't know, I tried to make some sort of little something, but I'm just showing you that it works, and it's, yeah. And then it does come with a lot of built-in applications. I think I showed you most of these, but it comes with Vim and such, which is quite a useful IDE. I know how to program with Python pretty good. And everything works really smoothly, and it's really simple to use. And you can see that YouTube and all web browsers actually run pretty good. So if we pull up YouTube here, give you an example. The screen recorder will make it look a bit laggy, but it's actually very smooth and fast and snap. The Wi-Fi works on it, the audio works with the Raspberry Pi. It's just a great operating system for the simple desktop Ubuntu Mate, or look into getting it. Raspbian, if you just want a simple desktop, but Raspbian is better in some ways because this is built for it and can be used for it, but it's a great simple operating system. Little choppy, that's the screen.
What do you mean? Polka dots.
Mine is overclocked, but and yeah, I would recommend it if you want to see videos of me installing things like Godot and Genie and Arduino and how to install them. I got those differently, but if you want to see videos of how to install these, I will be making them. The next video will be how to install programs, and then I might make one separately for Godot and Arduino, because, well, actually we'll just fit that in here. If you want to install applications, you just use Flatpak or Snap, and if you can't use those, you can just, here, I'll make a video on that. And that is the Ubuntu Mate running on the Raspberry Pi, a very simple, usable, handy operating system that I would completely recommend if you just want a simple desktop on the Raspberry Pi. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see any more videos on this, let me know. I'll be making videos on how to install these applications within the next couple weeks, so it's a handy operating system, and I would completely recommend it. If you want to see a video of me installing it using Blueberry, then I will do that. And thanks for watching, and have a good day.